and truth.
And
to
I need to write that down. What was that again? The bridge between the machines and humans? What was the term?
Yeah, I think so. I think if you think of putting a bridle on a horse, you know, BSV is the bridle to the AI.
That's a brilliant concept. Bridge between the machines and humans. Let me go to Bose while he just came up and say what's up, Bose. Good to see you, buddy.
Hi, Gavin. Oh yeah.
Hi, yeah.
Thanks for having me up.
Hey, man, you're welcome. Good to see you. I really appreciate you coming up last time, and we had a lot of talks about your ideas. So, floor's yours, man.
Thank you. So I'm hot off the hackathon, and I'm very grateful to the hackathon organizers, the Open Runic the SVA hackathon organizers, because they awarded BMovie's most innovative submission, and we won $1,000. So that was a really nice surprise. Sorry for being coy last weekend on your space, but I just wasn't quite ready to share it. And actually, we are now really looking for beta testers to come and test the flow, come and make trailers, pitches, drafts, etc. on the BMovies platform.
Oh, you know I'm going to do it, Bose. You know I'm going. I mean, I've got like the Bitcoin Singularity novel. I've got to make a trailer for that, haven't I?
Yeah. Well, exactly. Brilliant, Ruth. Hiya, how you doing? We definitely want you to come and tokenize your IP on the BMovies platform and turn it into a feature-length Hollywood movie and raise at least $1 million, if not $100 million, on the BMovies platform. So, and it's look, honestly, it is a platform for everybody to make their own Craig Wright movie. Obviously, we don't want any other kind of movies. We only want Craig Wright movies. But we're making a feature where people can drop their movie trailers and then raise capital for whatever movies they want. That's at /tokenize BMovies. So BMovies.online is the URL. We're offering $1,000 between May 1st and we're judging on finishes on June 1st. So there's 1 month window to submit your best draft ideas and turn them into trailers.
So, Bose, can you tell me, like, I like to make a lot of videos and movies and all this sort of thing, but you know, I usually do it in a way that I know how to do it, and that's my way of doing it. So, but once I learn a new way, I'm open to it. But what is this new way you're talking about, and how does it work?
Well, the platform, actually, we're going to open it up between now and May, so the next few days, so that you don't only have to use our backend for video production pipeline. You can, the competition is open for you to use any tools that you want. So if you want to use Grok at home, you want to sequence it in your particular way, you want to put out your particular funny trailer, or, you know, action thriller or whatever it is that you want to do, you're perfectly at liberty, and we encourage you to use your own tools and your own workflow, because I think inevitably, certainly at the beginning, you will get a better result because you'll be able to curate everything to your heart's content. But what BMovies ultimately does is it hashes your intellectual property to the chain in an ongoing chain. So you might be having a conversation with the BMovies agent. You put something in, it will spit something out. You put something back in, it will spit something out. That's 4 hashes on the chain in an IP chain. When you get to the point of tokenizing that thing, that draft, or turning the draft into a pitch or the pitch into a trailer, it becomes an economic object, and you can sell shares in that IP. So you tokenize it and you can sell. We give you 99% of your idea in tokens, essentially 1 billion tokens. We keep 10 million, give you the rest. You list it on the BMovies exchange, which is a one-set ordinals exchange, and you can sell interest in your IP to other people. If they believe in your movie project, they can fund you. You take the money. We don't take anything. We just take our 1% cut at the beginning. That's it. And so the more capital you raise, the better your movie can ultimately be. And there's no real ceiling on that. We think that
I can sell shares in my movie, you're saying, and put it out there for everyone to invest?
Yes. So BMovies insist that you pass a KYC check. We use Verif, the KYC provider, to sign a BRC certificate. And that acts as your proof. We can always tell, who you are, what your wallet is, what your intellectual property is, because it's linked to your genuine passport document or your driver's license via a Verif check. And we insist as well that the buyers who are buying off you also pass a KYC check. So they have to connect with their wallet, although at the moment I'm just setting up a BRC 100 wallet on the back end. So buyers and sellers won't even need to use an additional wallet. But we do insist that you both have KYC, because we want real investors investing in real projects from real creators and getting real value. And the way that the value works is that when you publish your movie, you can charge people to watch it. And we take Stripe payments, right? So the logic here is that everybody's got credit cards, nobody's got BSV, everyone uses Stripe. So the front end is normies facing. It's looking at, the billion people who've got credit cards. We want them to pay $2.99 to watch your movie, whatever it is. You've got 1 billion shares on the back end, and that $2.99 revenue that comes in from every customer that watches your movie gets split up to your shareholders in real time. And that's done with a combination of X402 and Runar covenants, which is Ziggy's latest thing, and hopefully the Ethereum virtual machine. This is still a bit of a work in progress, but the theory is there. It's Netflix on the front, it's Fiverr in the middle for the production houses, the different studios to come in and make the movies, and it's Pump.fun on the back end, where you've got crypto degenerates gambling on which movie they think is the funniest, latest, craziest viral thing. And if you understand the economics of Pump.fun, I think they made 300 million in 2024 and 500 million in 2025. We think this combination of Netflix on the front end, Fiverr in the middle, and Pump.fun on the back end is a winning combination. And at no point are we processing purchases of shares and securities and stuff like that. We don't let users buy equity using Stripe. Users on the front end, the audience paying Stripe, are watching movies. They're paying to watch movies. In the middle.
What if they want to buy equity in the company and invest? How do they buy that?
So we're offering 10% to market for $100K, $100,000 to get us off the mark. It is obviously everything has to be documented and by the book. We do have a BMovies token, but ultimately you have to go through our process of share subscription, shareholder agreement, offer letter, and then you get a share certificate. So that's all signed off. Obviously, this is backed by my company, the Bitcoin Corporation. And we're just trying to get the paperwork settled on whether or not BMovies is going to be its own subsidiary company. And I think actually it is. I think that's the cleanest way to do it. So there's 100% of the equity will be available, and we'll bring, as I say, 10% to market now, and ask for $100,000 up front to try and get this thing kick-started. And as I say, BMovies takes 1%. So if we had 100,000 films on there that were worth $10,000 each or $100,000 each, we'd be taking 1% of each of those and returning that to shareholders for their initial investment in the platform. Does that make sense?
A little bit. I see a video on your page you posted. It says through creator, AI, tech video, generation prompt, cinematic action shot, a futuristic female writer in a black leather jacket, dystopian cypherpunk, 15-second clip.
I don't know what page you're looking at.
On your X page, your most recent repost from today looks like 8 hours ago, and I'm just
I
kind of.
don't know. Yeah, I've just been sort of having a bit of a renaissance with plugging other people's stuff, because I think what I'm really excited about is people are being so creative with stuff right now. They're doing such cool videos. And so when I say
timed
that,
it just right for Sea Dance, haven't you, Bose?
say again?
You timed it just right for Sea Dance. You know, all these new
Yeah,
video models dropping. I mean, you couldn't have timed it better, really.
well, I really think it's part of the zeitgeist. You know, everybody is producing this stuff. I'm very keen on a generative video, and this really appeals to me. But honestly, I've been thinking about these ideas for a very long time, and it emerged organically for the hackathon. I didn't plan it at all, but the hackathon gave me the discipline to deliver it an end-to-end solution. So the KYC being wired in and the BRC requirement. And by the way, on the back end, the transaction count. So the BSVA asked us to do 1.5 million transactions in 24 hours. John Calhoun's system did 1.6 million in 16 hours. Our system does 3 million in 16 hours. But unfortunately, I didn't realize what the submission criteria were. I didn't realize we had to prove that before the submission. And so John beat us on the numbers at the point of submission. But and another thing is, in fact, on the back end, BMovies is very, very similar to Dolphin Milk. It basically does the same thing. You have a team of producer, director, writer, composer, etc. I think we started out with 4 agents. Now it's 9 agents per studio. You've got a trading agent in there that will trade the equity in your film for you, sell high and buy low. And it's very, very, very fast. It's very efficient indeed, and it's very high density. And so what you've got there is IP chains in the production pipeline for creating movies. And that's all part of the IP that people are buying when they buy some of your token, some of the token of the movie. They're buying royalty shares in the movie, and the royalty shares are attached to the actual chains of IP that the agents actually made in real time. So our system does the same as Dolphin Milk, but John's was aimed for the newsroom, for research and writing articles, and ours is aimed at Hollywood. And really, the market that we're really aiming at, of course, is the movie moguls who spend hundreds of millions of dollars on, the latest Disney movie, right? We want the Hollywood degenerates with super deep pockets to find this hysterically fun and to be blowing up viral videos into feature-long movies.
I mean, Ben Affleck, he sold his AI movie company over to Netflix for $600 million. Do you know anything about what they're doing? Maybe if it's something similar to this, or what the heck what it was all about?
No, I've got no idea. I have no insight into that team or the production process. I think one thing that I will say is that I went through a phase of gambling quite a lot on Pump.fun and really getting to know the meme coin scene. And I think what I've come up with here is a balance with Stripe consumer facing product on the front with no regulatory concerns. The Fiverr creator economy in the middle is very important, but it's where studios bid for equity in your project to produce your film, to produce your script. So the Fiverr element is sort of in production at the moment. We haven't quite nailed that. But the back end is Pump.fun crypto economics. And it's sort of the thing that's missing in BSV, because I think everybody who's attracted to cryptocurrency and Bitcoin is attracted to number go up. One of the things that I think hurts BSV in a way is this insistence that gambling and speculation is haram, and that the only important thing is micropayments and data provenance. But I think that data provenance, when you apply it to trading stocks and shares, is the real value. I mean, there's lots of value to data provenance, and IP chains is one of them. But keeping accurate records of trades is really, really valuable. And speculative capital is actually what leads growth. It's people playing with money that they don't know what else to do with and gambling on what the future looks like. So I think we need all three of those things for a successful product. I know that crypto people hate KYC and they love the word permissionless, but as a company, obviously, we have a fiduciary duty to our investors and shareholders, and that carries over to investors and shareholders in royalty shares on the platform. So I think we have to do KYC, and we have to try and be as compliant as possible. But that shouldn't take away from the degenerate gambling aspect of it. I'm really keen on this, and this was actually my challenge really for the BSVA. They said to us, you've got to do 1.5 million transactions in 24 hours. And I said, essentially, okay, but I want to put Stripe on the front end for credit card payments and degenerate Pump.fun gambling on the back end. And to their credit, because I think both of those are challenging concepts, to their credit, they awarded it the most innovative submission. So I'm really, really happy with that outcome.
Yeah. Bose, this is a really big idea, man. This is a good one. It seems like last weekend we were talking about doing movie stuff regarding the killing Satoshi, and then you were coming up with this idea. Maybe you just didn't tell anyone about this and you were working on it a long time, or was this just a 7-day project? I mean, what's the...
No, it was 2 weeks. I started this on the 7th of April, fresh. And I did bring some code in from other projects, actually, to be fair, because I'm working on a lot of similar ideas, but this really crystallized, and it came out very organically. And the discipline of the BSVA, the hackathon criteria really forced me to focus on and actually deliver. And that's quite unusual because I've got a lot of half-built projects. And a bit like Ruth, I might have 10 tabs with 10 different projects open. So the hackathon was really good for imposing discipline, and I just didn't want to share it too early because I wanted to win. So
nice. Yeah. Let me ask a question here regarding, this is a kind of an open question I'm getting written in, and I thought I would ask it. Maybe Archie would probably be the best person to answer if possible, but here's the question. It says, okay, let's see. My first question. As I mentioned, from a strategy perspective, let's see, we should be moving on chain and websites, domains, etc. Okay, so hold on, let me skip ahead. My intention is to build websites, and then those websites are going to be BRC 100 compatible. The issue is that I cannot transfer over Satoshis from SimplyCash wallet to a MetaNet wallet, as MetaNet does not support SimplyCash and is not BRC 100 compatible. So what do I do? So the person has SimplyCash, they want to move to BRC 100.
Can I chime in there, Kevin?
Yeah, please.
So I would move it to the BSV desktop wallet at the minute, because it seems to be actively being worked on, and I've had some difficulties myself with the Babbage wallet and getting it working with my apps, but the BSV desktop wallet is very similar to the Babbage MetaNet wallet, and it's but they keep updating it, and it's like getting really good now. So I've finally got all my apps I was trying to get hooked into it working. So the BSV desktop has got a legacy bridge in it, and so what that means is that it gives you an address that you can send BSV to from your regular wallets like SimplyCash and Handcash and the others, and import it into the wallet in sort of one step. So it's all doable, it's all possible. But the one that seems to be working better for me at the minute is the BSV desktop, and it's only recently, like in the last few days, honestly, that I can say that's the case. But they released a new update of it a few days ago, and it's become a lot, just stable. I'm using it on Windows, and it might be that it was working well on Mac before, but my Windows version wasn't playing along. But yeah. It's a good wallet, but it is a little bit tricky to get money into it because you do have to bring it in via this, what they're calling a legacy bridge, where you're using an address beginning with the number 1 and then importing it into the sort of metanet environment.
I see. So when I go to the BSV, to answer this person's question, and when I go to the BSV desktop, which I'm on now, I have that already installed. Then I just go to Legacy Bridge, it looks like. And on Legacy Bridge, it opens up a feature and it says this feature serves as a bridge from old legacy wallets and relies on what's on chain services. And so therefore they're saying a unique payment address is generated to use this. And then there's the unique payment address starting with the number 1. And then I can So I can fund the wallet using that. I think that's the problem the person was having. They're unable to do that. So.
Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, it's like I say, it's only the last few days that it's actually fully working for me. There's something where it just kept crashing before, but it seems to be stable now. But yeah, no, I mean, when you're on the bleeding edge, that's the thing to keep in the forefront of your mind every time you're using these new BRC 100 style wallets. It is the bleeding edge, and so it is a bit, iffy still. But like, it's also unlocking all sorts of functionality that wasn't possible before. So, stay with it, hang in there.
Nice. Archie, do you want to comment?
Yeah, I mean, it was one of the first posts I made because that was the first thing I wanted to solve in my browser wallet. And then I commented in a thread. I just sent it to you in a DM, but Brendan Lee last week made a comment. He says, am I stupid? How do I get an address out of here? And Zach followed up. He said it should be as easy as create a wallet, save off the mnemonic, fund the wallet. But the funding the wallet is the problem. Most of the BRC, Dagan did add the legacy bridge. He made a video on it last week, showing people. But before that, there was no way. You had to go to a whole separate app to move anything over. No exchanges support BRC 100 to send it to. Handcash, Rock Wallet, Electrum, there's no way to get, it's very difficult to get money into BRC 100. And then that's kind of what I was saying with the browser and the wallet I created. It can do everything in both. And now that they've created that bridge, it's just as easy in those. But yeah, that was the biggest problem. And I think people are so critical of BRC 100 because of that, but it's not a protocol issue. It's just, you need to bridge it. And then there's a bunch more threads about why and everything. It gets technical, but yeah, I'd say go test my wallet. You have to do a whole new browser. And I put in the post, this is going to be good for the future because Web3 is going to have to work at the browser level. But yeah, the Hodos wallet will do anything legacy or anything BRC 100. And you can just transfer it in from anywhere and start spending BRC 100.
Oh, is
Nice.
the Hodos wallet yours, Archie? I didn't know that. I need to go and try it, don't I?
Yeah, I'd appreciate if you give me some feedback. But it should be download it, install. You click the wallet, create it, creates a mnemonic, create your wallet, and then you should have a QR code. You can just scan with Rock Wallet, you can scan with Handcash, or you can just, in the browser, you can navigate to Handcash, log in, and you can just copy your address and send it there.
Second question.
This is desktop, not mobile, just to be clear. Yeah.
What is the best MetaNet app or MetaNet apps for building, hosting websites on chain powered by MetaNet wallet? Like a MetaNet app or MetaNet wallet. What was that?
Gavin, I've just made one called onesatchel.com. I think of it like, backpack, but satchel, onesatchel.com. And it's not finished yet, so it's still in development, but it's you can probably log in and play with it. So it's making kind of a one-page web page for you, but you can put like paywalled items on it, so you can get people to book meetings with you as a tip jar. You can ask people to pay to download a file or reveal a link, that kind of thing. And that's BRC100 compatible, but it also is Handcash compatible and other wallets. So, but it is a Linktree style page, so there's like various templates you can use, but it is still quite a limited sort of format of web page. But Crescendo's made one called Buttercup that will create web pages and allow you to export the code as well. So check out buttercup.com, I think. Yeah, so buttercupdap.com, I think it is. But it's all coming, Gavin. It's all coming very soon.
And another one was what web wallets apps that can take both BTC and BSV? I think Rock Wallet would be one. Orange Gateway would be one. Who else takes both BTC and BSV?
I mean, Exodus is the big one.
Exodus, Rock Wallet, Orange Gateway. I know another one. Those are three that I know that for sure. There are others. Casey, do you know any other ones? No. I know that there are others. Gosh, I'm not drawing. Anyways, those are three. Any others? Kraken doesn't. Coinbase, no. Binance, no. None of those other ones. What is the one I just recently used? I can't remember. There's an old one that does it as well. They're huge. Requested. George, talk to me. Requested. Approve. I'm going to refresh my page. Hold on.
Can I ask you a quick question before you go, Ruth?
Sure, yeah.
And then I think if George was coming up, or Jorge, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I have the same question for him. And Gavin, just tell me if you don't want to go down this road again.
Go ahead.
But Ruth, you said you built on the one satchel. I'm going to go try to do that with the BRC100. You had to build it. You said you built it for Handcash and BRC100.
Oh yeah. I mean, so, I wouldn't claim that it's 100% working. Yeah.
Okay. But, well, that's fine. But I'm just I don't want to bring this up over and over again. But the whole standard protocol. Like if you built it for BRC100, it'll work with BSV desktop, the MetaNet client, the BSV browser, and it'll work with Hodos browser because it's just one open standard protocol. You had to build. It
does work with BSV browser as well. Yeah, and I'm not sure. The main problem I'm having at the minute is because I've had to make a wallet within the app itself. Well, but of course, when you switch from desktop to mobile, you've got to like put the seed in again, or you're not necessarily operating on the same wallet. It's a headache.
Yeah, they need to sync across for sure. When you say you had to make a wallet in the app, you mean for the app itself, not for the users of the app, right?
Well, no, for the users of the app, that's what you're minting your sort of Linktree style page with at the minute is your own wallet, because I haven't actually got the others doing the minting yet.
Was it a minting token issue that the BRC didn't support it?
I think basically I couldn't get either the Babbage wallet or the BSV desktop fully working enough to test it, was the main issue. Like, it kept crashing. They both kept crashing and just not broadcasting and things, issues like that. But I finally, the last 2 days, it's all started working. So
well, I'll DM you on the side, and maybe we can do something and try to do some testing, because I want to get those types of things working. But just the whole same thing again, like I have a Word document with like 30 different wallets on it with mnemonics that I have to manage and whatever. If I go to one set, I just want it to work with whatever wallet I have.
Well, that's the idea. Yeah, I'm trying to make it so that you can use whichever wallet you came with.
Yeah, every wallet should work with every app. Like, I want to go try the 3D ordinals and stuff that Jorge has. I don't want to go create another wallet. I want to go try BSV Tube. I don't want to create another wallet. I want to go try Bose stuff. I don't want to create another wallet. I already have 30 mnemonics that I have to manage and track. I want to just pick a wallet. If it's hand cash, I go to any app. It works with any app. If it's,
well, to be honest with you, that's
wallet,
why
I go to
most of the apps I've made so far are using Handcash, and there's a good reason why that is. One is the fact
that's where the users are.
Wallets are not very stable, but also because when I move between the desktop and mobile, Handcash continues to work.
Okay. Yeah, we need to tell that. Well, we need to tell that to the BSVA, and I have that kind of want to do on the roadmap as well. It just needs, the wallets need to sync. Handcash can do that because they're the custodian of your key, and it all runs on their server, which is fine. But the other problem with Handcash is they're proprietary. It's good you build to them because that's where all the users are. But if I want to build a wallet, or anybody else wants to build a wallet, it's not going to work with your app because Handcash has a proprietary protocol and they require keys. This is why the BRC 100 is better. If anybody can build a wallet to that standard and it'll work. But you're right. One of the biggest things that you should point out to Dagan, it shouldn't be hard to sync because they use a cloud to sync the wallet database in the back end anyway. So I don't know, it can be solved, and it does. And you're right, that does need to be solved.
It's getting solved slowly. That's what I'm finding. It's like with every day that passes, we're getting closer to it all working. And so I'm just trying to have some patience with it.
I would like to say something about that. I think the BSC 100 is a pretty new standard. It's what's going to be user, but it's pretty early for many users. Then the main purpose of that standard is the user only use each address one time, and the wallet rotate that addresses with each payment to keep private, right? That is the main purpose of that kind of the standard. But it could be difficult to use because we are more comfortable with legacy addresses that start with 1 and have the mnemonic, right? For example, in my case, in 3D Ordi, I have created my own wallet with the libraries of BSV Association, the BSV SDK for wallets, for payments. And I had combined that with other open source libraries of OneSat ordinals protocol, because that's an NFT application platform that combine payments through the wallet and NFTs in an open protocol that could be compatible between different marketplaces of NFTs. For example, if you have a wallet in Soide, you can import that in the JSON file. You export that into a JSON file and import in 3D Ordi, or also you can create in yours wallet and and import that in 3D ordering, and that kind of application are compatible between them because use the same standard, one set ordinal for NFTs. But the disadvantage of that kind of one set ordinal wallets is you have only one payment address all the time, right? If you reuse many times the same address for different payments, you lose a little of your privacy with the amounts of payment you are doing. I from my perspective, there are different ecosystems, right? Could be we could have an ecosystem that use one set ordinal protocol with a legacy standard application related with that standard. Other ecosystem in Handcash, I saw Handcash and MetaNet client like two app stores. Compared that with Apple Store or Android Store for apps are like two different ecosystems that are not full compatible between them, but could be worth are competition between this kind of ecosystem. But I think we need to try and deliver products to the market, and the markets can select what is better for each one, depends on your purpose or your needs.
Yeah, no, that's good. So I don't want to cut you off, Gavin, but yeah, even if you follow that thread that I sent you, Gavin, it went right into, he didn't, Truth Machine didn't like the term legacy for one thing, which actually goes all the way back to the fork and SegWit when they started using. But even Handcash has used the word legacy to describe, deriving an address that way since like 2020. Money Button used the term legacy for deriving addresses that way. And it goes to the elliptic curve cryptography that we were talking about earlier. If you only have the one address, anybody can just look on the public blockchain and see all your funds. You need to derive a new address for every transaction in order to maintain your privacy. So the transactions look the same in BRC-100. You can still derive an address, but your counterparty can derive an address from your public key, and then they use a message box system to encrypt it and send it to your public key's message box. So you don't have to constantly query the blockchain forever against every single address you've ever derived to see if there's any UTXOs there. This is one of the things Jorge pointed out, and I think it's better. But also on the one sat ordinal protocols, maybe I should try to get with you on the side too. Like I can implement that in my wallet as well and store those tokens, and I can write the code to do it. But how am I going to communicate with 3D ordies? Like if the user wants to pushes the button, hey, create ordi, what is the API call? Do you have like documentation, or is that part of
yes, that good question, because this kind of apps has two addresses, one for payments and other for ordinals or NFTs. The way to communicate between different apps or different marketplaces is through the same indexer. Okay, in my case, I use the Gorilla Pool indexer for ordinals, and in your application, you also can consult that API of Gorilla Pool to load that kind of content in your app. But for example, a user can inscribe one collection of NFTs in my app, and you can see that in your app. Okay, if you export a user export the same JSON file in your application, so that's a shared NFT marketplaces, and we are doing that through the Gorilla ordinals indexer, and that needs to be overlay network. Is moving to an overlay network, but I'm not sure if right now is that, but in the first approach is use the same indexer for NFTs. Okay, and yours, I think, or OneSat Market and Soide are using the same indexer, and we had a few documentation about that I can share with you.
Okay, yeah, I might reach out. I have a list of features I want to build, but I've already done in like an initial look at adding OneSat ordinals. But I just didn't even dig in because I don't know how I'm going to communicate with your app. But yeah, I want to add that feature eventually. I'll probably reach out to you. And I think I don't know how Jungle Bus, I haven't looked into Jungle Bus, how they index it, but if they do, like, I do think it's the same problem when the chain gets too big as having all these addresses constantly be queried. I think at least having a topic manager like the overlay system to categorize things and to index them is a lot better. I haven't looked at Jungle Bus, but I know that's one of the criticisms of the way their indexer is if it does the entire chain. So hopefully they're doing that. Sounds like everyone's moving in the right direction. And yeah, I'm gonna reach out to you.
Okay, sure. For example, I also would like to integrate it with Handcash, but Handcash is not full compatible with OneSat ordinal protocol. It is not shared, so that's why I decided to create my own wallet integrated in a web app, because I think OneSat ordinal could be a good protocol to share between different application in tokens and NFTs.
You understand that users don't want to create a new wallet for every app they go to, though, right? Like if Ruth builds an app, you have to get a new wallet, and Gavin builds an app, you have to get a new wallet. And Casey, I just want one wallet. I don't want to create a new wallet to go test an app or anything. I want one wallet to work everywhere I go as a user.
Yes, that's right. And I think we are in a middle term. It's not it's good enough. It's not perfect, but I think it's good enough if the user export the backup of the JSON file and only import the same JSON file in other platform. You only have one seed, one mnemonic, one file to protect.
Nice. Yeah, and George, I saw your show in Spanish. You were on a friend of mine's podcast. It was you guys talking Spanish, and YouTube has a way to make it in English now. And I listened to it in English, and you guys were having a grand old time in there, laughing and joking about like all this stuff with the Satoshi story and this whole backstory, and I really enjoyed it. So it was a good translation from Spanish to English, and it has an AI voice robot as an AI. So
Thank you. So funny.
So I hope you know that YouTube has turned you into an AI now. So you're a famous AI robot out there.
I enjoy to study the history behind Satoshi Nakamoto. Of course, we know that is Dr. CSW, and there are a lot of stories to tell about that. In that show, we talk frequently about Dr. Craig, but also we talk frequently about application and adoption of BSV. So,
have you gone down the rabbit hole about David Rees yet?
Excuse me?
Have you gone down and looked into David Rees yet?
Not yet, no.
All right, let me just if you want to have fun, this is a missing connection. So David Rees was a part of the Enigma project. Now, the Enigma project was the brilliant, Turing. Basically, they were cracking codes against trying to figure out what the Nazis were going to do in World War II. And so Edward, the Alan Turing, the Turing machines that made Bitcoin Turing complete. Originally, he committed suicide, or he supposedly died with cyanide tabs after the war. But Turing passed away, and then David Rees continued on. He was also part of the project. Now, David Rees was one of the few cryptographer geniuses at the time in 2008 that had the knowledge to use to basically decide how Bitcoin would be built. And there was two types of curves at the time. And the NSA had put out something called the P256 curve, which is suspected of harboring a backdoor afterwards. That was the NSA. And then in a stroke of genius, of total defiance, Satoshi Nakamoto, he chose to build Bitcoin on the K1 curve, a rigid random curve that exists with the exact mathematical playground that David Rees had pioneered. And so the whole Satoshi Bitcoin creation story, it really, it gets fun when you start to look down that rabbit hole of like, well, who had the knowledge? If Adam Back was Satoshi, like they like to say over there with the fake Toshi movie cult, or these other people, well, show me how he had the knowledge to pick the K1 curve. And this is just a technical question, but it pretty much it crushes any of these fake actors like Adam Back or Hal Finney or these people as in the Satoshi conversation, because this is a very high level specialized area of knowledge to pick the type of curve that Bitcoin was built on and launched. And David Rees is one of those few people in the world that have had that knowledge. So
okay. Yes, that's good point. I heard about that in the Coworker Junior and the first the prehistory of Bitcoin. Yes, he mentioned about that the elliptic curve random and the key one. I saw something about David Rees in one documentary that has been released like 1 month ago in YouTube, the Byzantine General. I have saw that documentary and it's pretty good because the conclusion of the documentary is that Satoshi was a group of people, Dr. Craig as a lead of that group, Dave Kleiman and David Rees, right? Three people. That's the conclusion. It's not perfect, but I think it's a good documentary. It's far away better than all the cypherpunks commentary that all point to cypherpunks as candidates. And Satoshi Nakamoto doesn't have the same key values of that kind of group, right? Yes, I know about. I remember who is David Rees, and in that documentary mentioned a girl, I think it's from China, something like that. That was David's intern during that years.
Yeah, the Byzantine Generals documentary, guys, I posted a video this week plugging it, and it just came out more recently. It is phenomenal. It was put out like like a month ago, and there's a small group of people that watched it. I'm not sure how many people watched it since I promoted it, but it is amazing. It goes down in the history of the whole story about revealing the creation of Bitcoin in a much more neutral, scientific, analytical way, and it does expose that girl from China as one of the most likely people to holding keys in the Tulip Trust. And she was a Yuan Win. She was an 18-year-old prodigy, and she was looks like a part of the team. She posted on X. I didn't even know those posts about X. Apparently, those are all deleted now. I never saw those. I couldn't find them. But that video showed all her posts on X that she was revealing some of the history and the backstory about Kleiman, on that video. Remember that? And how Kleiman was a part of it, and he was a genius. And Kleiman, I think, was fascinating. I didn't realize that Kleiman was a super genius in the way of coding, and that was his strength. So it kind of makes sense when it comes to the protocol. With who was so smart to know all the ins and outs of the opcodes. All that coding that had to go into it. And that's, I think, maybe where could be Kleiman was a big part of that. What do you think?
According with the Wright testimonies in the court, David Kleiman was just a friend, collaboration in that project to check, to review the code of the software, the C++ software. They Kleiman review that, and I think another person also, but didn't design the protocol, didn't design the all the key factors. Only was help to Craig to review the white paper and the code, but no create Beacon as a team.
Oh yeah,
that makes sense for you.
And that was, well, that's not just your opinion. That was what a jury found in Florida, and it was appealed on. That you're right. It wasn't that. That's your opinion. I'm not saying it my opinion. The jury found and tried that matter and went into very deep deliberation for years over this, and they determined that no, the estate of Kleiman did not create the project, and the estate of Kleiman got no money, not a penny. They didn't get any money from that case, and they sued for all those Bitcoin, and they didn't get any. That was the final ruling. And I know that's kind of like pushed under the rug for some reason, but the state of Kleiman did not win anything from that case.
Right. I think $100 million was the sentence, but Craig Wright had to pay that to the company W and Dave cybersecurity, something like that.
W&W. What's interesting about the W&W? Yeah, W&K. Sorry, W&K. Interesting part about that in the Kleiman case was that. So what was found was that there was some intellectual property that the court found that Craig had taken or potentially moved away from Kleiman. I'm sorry. I'm trying to think of the award. It had nothing to do with the creation of Bitcoin, though. Okay. That award right there, nothing. It was about a separate issue that was trying to put into the case about that intellectual property regarding W&W that was supposedly removed over to here, and therefore Craig had to pay money to that. And Kleiman's estate, or I think it was Ira Kleiman, they had a third of one of the shares in that company, but nothing was awarded to Kleiman's estate itself. Very
Right, that's very interesting.
That is going to come out in the documentary, George. Did you know that?
Yes.
So there's a documentary that's coming out, all the deep research and all the court trials and the Kleiman era, which is it's history that is just fascinating. And it was all videotaped at that time. And what happened was that there was a camera crew going around, during Kleiman and interviewing people and making a movie. Like, you ever see those documentaries where it's a person asks a question and the guy just answers it, but you never see what the question was. It's just a question and the guy just answers the question without showing the question. So it's going from one to another about all these court cases. And that's what is going to assist. It's going to like kind of the sister movie that's coming out with the Killing Satoshi. You got Bitcoin Killing Satoshi, and then you've got the documentary thesis about all the Kleiman stuff and the later court case, the COPA stuff, and all these things that are being put together. So really fascinating. That's all coming out.
Yes, there are a lot of information that had been delivered through court cases. First, in the Craig versus Kleiman case in Florida was one of them. Other cases in Europe against HorrorNet, something like that, against COPA. Dr. Craig used all of that cases to reveal a piece of one piece at a time, one piece at a time in those cases to reveal a part of the creation of Bitcoin. And if you read the evidence and testimonies released in those cases, you find a lot of information, and all makes sense because match. I think it's had more context with we keep in mind the information releases in those cases.
I mean, for the people who may not have been around at the time, there was a massive online attack of of Dr. Craig, and it was Peter
Right.
McCormick, and it was Hodlnot, and it was the, Jihan Wu and Roger Ver, and all these people onslaughted of a hate and smear campaign, and delist and destroy. They called them fake Toshi, is what they said. They came up with that word. I don't know where they came up with that, but that was the it was like they tried to bully him out of the space, and it just didn't work. And then he said, you know what, this is unacceptable, what you guys are doing. And he appealed over to X. And actually, I watched, you had posted a video, I think it was yesterday or the day before, of an old interview that he did with Connor. And it was probably around 2017 or 18. And he talked about how he'd been banned on X, and X had, or it was Twitter at the time. They shut him down. They said he was, for whatever reason, and he appealed because he was appealing because he didn't want all these fake bots messing up his posts. Like, he's like, these need to be verified accounts, and then they banned him and shut him down from Twitter at that time. You posted that yesterday or the day before, and that was a brilliant little interview. And then it went really deep into that book as well that Craig was reading at the time. But yeah, that's a fascinating piece of the whole thing. I mean, they were attacking him under Hodlnot and Peter McCormick, and then he started suing these people. So it's kind of funny. I'm going into the BTC conference tomorrow. This is the biggest conference of the year, 30,000 people. Casey's going. A lot of other people are going to be going there. So pray for me that I don't get, don't
spam so much. Be careful.
Pray for me, please.
Those people.
So pray.
I'm going to pray for you.
Thank you. Pray for me while I'm in there, so I don't get baptized into the cult. Because if they put the laser eyes on you, then you're officially get baptized, and it puts this spell on you. I'm not sure how the spell works, but it's a very captivating spell. And then you walk around and you like say fake Toshi, fake Toshi. You say these things over and over again. So pray for me that doesn't happen, please. Thank you very much, Jorge.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So, any anyone else have anything that want to close out? Closing thoughts, Bose, Casey, Archie. Anybody else want to come up and comment? Jorge, before we close out, I got my Bose. Go ahead.
Can I have a final word again?
Floor's yours.
Thank you so much, Gavin. Thank you. So we're looking for beta testers. I'm really keen to find people to help me test the platform, test the Stripe checkout flow, test KYC, test tokenizing your intellectual property, test the going from draft to script to pitch to short, at least I think, or to trailer, sorry. Help test the, let me see, what else? Coupons. We've got coupons that we give for to allow people to sign up and make movies and stuff. So and we have a small budget for people who are happy to help out, and I think particularly people who are happy to use their credit card for the Stripe checkout to make sure that works, and we can refund you if you are up for helping out. So that's kind of really a crucial thing. The other thing that we're looking for really is capital. So if you guys want to put your BSV into BMovies, there is a BMovies token, and we'll make that available provided that you pass the KYC check and do the proper documentation. We are accepting capital in the form of BSV, so you can get a token to token exchange. So those two things really, testing and investment. And I'll release some more details about the team at the end of the month in a few days' time. But you know them well. And also, I think we're looking for people to really become part of the team, because this would be a really nice group effort, and I think it's got huge potential. So yeah, testers and capital investment and team. If if you guys have got the bandwidth or the resources and the desire to join in, and really make this thing, blow up, would be great.
And Bose, what can people do to get involved? Where do they go?
Okay, so we do have a Twitter account, BMovies_online. It's as all new Twitter accounts are suppressed, we have posted on it, but of course they're completely invisible to everybody. You can drop me a line on Twitter, obviously Bose handle, and the other thing that you can do is send Gmail to online.bmovies@gmail.com. So Twitter channels are open, email is open, any other way, get through to us on Telegram. We haven't got a channel set up, but we're around on the different channels. So, and we've also got marketing collateral, like pitch decks and trailers and stuff like that to share. So increasingly, I think we'll be doing that. And the other thing, the huge thing, and I'm being so stupid. So the huge thing is we really want to have creative people on the platform making movies. That's the thing. So our competition will launch on the 1st of May, and it will run all the way through May to the 1st of June, and we'll judge on the 1st of June. Prize money is $1,000 cash. You can have it any way you want. Bank transfer, Bitcoin, Ethereum, anything, any format you like. Honestly, the winning criteria is not how much money you raise, but it is important that whatever you do to enter the competition, you have to tokenize your submission on the platform, which means you do have to pass a KYC check. But then you get 99% of your tokens, and then you can start raising for your project as well. So one of the winning criteria will be how much you can raise, but that won't be necessarily the only criteria. We are judging on quality, humor, what would you say, continuity. So obviously that's a big thing. And we're not expecting movies to be perfect either. We understand the limitations of AI movies, but we're looking for creative, fun people to work with, really, and be brand ambassadors. And also the other thing is, really quickly, we give you a studio when you sign up. Sign up with Google or Twitter, we give you a studio automatically. But if you pay 99 cents, then you can tokenize your studio and have a premium studio, and then you can raise capital in your studio, and you can pitch to create movies and trailers from other people's scripts and drafts. And so that's the key bit. That's the Fiverr middle there that I was talking about earlier. So you can have a tokenized studio, you can incorporate, you can do work, you can win equity in other people's projects. So that's the creative bit. And that's the bit that we're really keen on growing and having directors and producers and studios on the platform itself.
Oh yeah. Nice, Bose. I love it. This is great. Let me go to, oh yeah, my man Vince. Miami.
What's going on, Gavin? How you doing, guys?
Oh, living the dream. I'm going to this cult meeting tomorrow in Las Vegas, and so please pray for me.
You know what's the biggest thing you're going to come across tomorrow?
What's that?
Is going to be a big circle jerk about them talking about Admiral Paparo, what he said in front of the Senate hearing.
Oh yeah.
BTC. Well, he didn't say BTC. He said Bitcoin Protocol, right? Yeah. Did you catch that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
And so that's going to be I trust me when I tell you, they're going to be all over themselves. When,
price is going to go up.
About that.
BTC is going to go up. Yeah.
Right. You see, you told, he mentioned Bitcoin protocol. He didn't mention blah, 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 Solana or XRP or whatever. Right. So, yeah. But they're missing the point though, man. What is he talking about doing? I mean, he's talking about basically integrating or using, like CertaHash. He basically described CertaHash, and I really didn't know what it was until, I looked it up, and I mean, it's basically doing, he was describing using Bitcoin protocol for something exactly like CertaHash. I mean, where it's absolutely needed. And BTC can't do it, BCH can't do it, nothing. So, I mean, it's BSV, man,
Seems like there's a lot of transactions going on chain. And so it seems to make a lot of sense. They might be using Terra node or Sentinel node through CertaHash, to do all those transactions.
Do you remember like about, what was it, like a year ago, year and a half ago, when there was like this insane amount? It was like the biggest amount of transactions of like 99 point something percent or whatever. All the transactions were BSV. Yeah, man. I think they were testing, I think they were testing it for that. So, there's a lot that, I hate to get in the whole conspiratorial schizo thing or whatever, but yeah, there's a lot that we don't know about that's going on, man.
Definitely.
So,
yeah, this new financial system is coming, and it is a part of it. I think that there's a competitive market as well. You've got the U.S. who's gearing up with the Department of War and what they're doing for this, using this protocol. But then you have also the old British system. They're getting left behind right now while they're not paying any attention to this. So I'm trying to drive some attention to make competition, to say, look, you guys in London, the city of London, if you want to compete, let me just share some insight with you. You don't seem to be paying attention. Look at what they're doing over here. They're using Terra node, Sentinel node, and they're starting to do all these transactions on chain. You might want to look, how would you like to get ahead and beat them with the technological race? I think that there's a huge opportunity between these superpowers to start driving a lot of transactions, massive amount of transactions.
Well, I think the city of London's been purposefully excluded from all that, but that's a whole nother story.
I think so. I think they're getting put. Yeah, the whole the Lloyd's of London thing is at issue right now. I mean, that's part of the thing. I mean, Lloyd's of London's been basically cannibalized itself. It's there. They did it to themselves, but now there comes an opportunity out of that, where Lloyd's of London and the city of London is collapsing on its down, and they need a rope. Well, let's throw them a rope and let's give them an opportunity to start getting ahead by doing transactions.
A rope that's completely transparent, completely visible to everyone, not these shenanigans. And, I think that's what the real behind the scenes deal that's going on, between the House of Saud and City of London and NATO. And I mean, the whole thing, that's going to be the new, and I wouldn't just limit it to the new financial system. It's just going to be the new system, period. I think IPv6 plays a major, major role. That'll be the new standard. And there's only one blockchain that can handle it, man. The AI, I mean, how do you keep, from AI from hallucinating, AI from lying after already agreed to that it was wrong, I mean, you put it on blockchain. There's only one blockchain that can handle all this, So, yeah.
It's not. So you're telling me it's not XRP?
Stop.
I saw a video the other day where Craig was being interviewed by Connor. It was like probably 2018. And he was calling out, he's saying, look, the Twitter people are paying this XRP army of bots to promote these shit coins. And Craig was calling it out on the video, like breaking it all down. And he's like, and now they're here trolling me, throwing FUD at me. And it's just bots. And they're being paid to do all this.
Was this just recent, or when was
the video? Was recently shared by Jorge on this call here, but it's an old video from like around 2018 by Connor. I'd never even seen it before, and it is a fascinating. I'm gonna find.
You're not talking about the one with Crypto Rick, where Rick is interviewing him.
Nope.
No, it's another.
Not Crypto Rick. Okay. This is something I'm gonna share it right now.
Please, I want to see that. Yeah.
George, you had posted this. Here it is. I'm going to share it right into this space. It's share to space. It says, if you want to understand money, you need to read this book, Man from the Legal Aspect of Money by Charles Proctor. I'm going to retweet it as well. And I just shared it to the space. It says, recommended book by Dr. CSW, aka Satoshi Nakamoto, quote, a legal aspect of money has been in the leading text, private education and public law of money ever since the publication since 1939. And there's a YouTube video in there with Bitcoin and Beyond and a book. And that video is, I watched it for the first time. It is fascinating, dude. It is
and he mentions what about XRP in there? He
talks about how the XRP army was being paid to troll him on Twitter.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And he was saying he complained about it, and then they banned his account.
Really?
That's how the video starts out. It starts out, he was saying, "Look, I got shut down. My account is closed now. I cannot post anymore." So that would have been, I'm not sure what year that would have been, but it was probably right after Bitcoin Cash, I'm thinking. Or it could have been 2018, maybe. I don't know what year that video was. You'd have to look and see, but it was a fascinating little piece of history of
2019.
What was that?
2019.
Okay, 2019.
Right. And the split from Bitcoin Cash was in 2018.
Yeah.
A year after that.
Yeah. So that video, I don't know why that's like one of the best I've ever seen, man. He was on a fire. He went into IPv6. He went into MetaNet. He talked all about the MetaNet protocol in that, and the whole structure of how MetaNet wanted to work, and the vision from, I think he said like 2001 or 2003. I guess maybe it was patented back then.
Yeah, I want to watch it as soon as we hang up. I thought it was like some, like boring whatever, but yeah, now that you're saying that,
it is absolutely high level. I would encourage everybody to watch it. I just shared it into the space here, and anybody who's into tech, there it is. It's shared right now.
He also talked a little bit about something personal things. In that video, he told about a movie, his February movie of Dr. Craig, Casablanca. That is a personal thing, but I would like to know something personal detail about him, because there are puzzle for a brain wallet, multimillionaire brain wallet. It's an article that Dr. Craig write around also in 2019, and that wallet has 50 bitcoins before every fork. It has 50 BTCs, 50 Bitcoin Cash, and 50 BSVs, and it's a very difficult puzzle, but you have to know a lot about legal on England, and something about books, personal things that Dr. Craig has written in different articles, and also have talk in interviews. So there are pieces that we need to put all together in order to resolve that brain wallet.
Hey George, is there like a community, like a meetup of? I remember a lot of people from Colombia over the years who were in this community, and I'm wondering, is there a meetup, or do you guys know each other down there, or what is the makeup of the Colombian area right now for
No, right now there are very, very few people that know about BSB deeply. I used to communicate most with people in Spain. We have a Spanish Telegram group where we talk about that. I have a couple of friends in Spain and that know much details about Dr. Craig history. Ramon Quesada is something of
what do you think about this? What if I talk about like just movies coming out? Like, I mean, I just feel like there's so much opportunity. I mean, doing like a tour or something where like you go down to Spain and we bring a bunch of people down there, and then we hype it up with a movie. The movie's a hype thing, right? It is a hype thing. It's a marketing thing. Okay. I'm not saying, all of these smart people and these geniuses, they don't care about movies. I get it. But the regular person, the degen or boomer, they do. And so it's a hype thing. We start talking about the movie, and then people come together, and it creates maybe like a community down there, all these people come together. It starts momentum, momentum of developers and so then you have let's say I did that. I promoted a big event down there or something, and then 100, 200 people, 300 people go. And then it creates some momentum. Then every week or every month, you're hosting another event, and other people are building projects around it. oh, let's build something. Let's talk about what we can do. How can we work together? It just, things move really fast when everyone comes together like that. It's exciting.
Yes, I think that the movie is a big thing. I share that opinion with you because it is not uh, um, a documentary as we have seen previously in YouTube and other HBO. It's not a big documentary. It's a Hollywood movie with the stars and a thriller. So that can be get the attention of people outside of cryptocurrencies, outside of Bitcoin, for a regular person in the world that has heard a little bit about Bitcoin, but wants to know who is behind Satoshi Nakamoto identity. So yes, it's a big thing to get attention from everyone.
It's exciting. It's amazing to be a part of it. I love, I'm grateful to be a part of it. We're early, but it's opportunities, nothing but huge. So
not that early, Gavin. Not that early, man. Everything is coming together. Yeah, I think everything's coming together, man.
I couldn't agree more. Ruth was on here earlier, and she was talking about how she's like, you know what? This is the AI machines, the machine-to-machine payments with OpenClaw and AI agent-to-agent payments. She's like, it is not far off from that creating that hyper Bitcoinization moment. And I'm not saying wait around for it, everybody. I'm saying, the opportunity is there for the taking for anyone to build a business around that right now. And there's a few people that are. John Calhoun, I know 2 other developers who have already done it. But as soon as somebody like a Sam Altman figures that out, they're going to dominate.
I want to tell you a little story.
Yeah.
About the creator of Thresher. Have you heard about that application, Blazor, TTX Blazor?
Never heard of it.
That application have created millions of transactions in the last week, 1 or 2 weeks, and the creator of that application is someone from Spain, also a follower on my show, and in Spain, and that person is incredible. Create that application in just 2 days, and is a mechanical technician. He's not a developer, an expert in software. Just had used cloud and agent, okay, to code that application and to integrate with the Handcash, and everyone want to use it and create thousands and thousands of transactions. And right now, covers more than 90% of transaction. You can see that in blockchain. So that is an amazing story because that show that anyone can create now with the open libraries that BSB Association have created, joined to cloud and code agents. That's a way to regular people create new products and accelerate the adoption.
Excellent. Thank you, George. All right, everybody, I'm going to wrap. Pray for me. I'm going to go to the conference tomorrow. We're going to head out there, be out there till Wednesday. I'm going to do my best to get a lot of video and do a lot of posting while I'm there, like video and clips. And I got the press pass with the back with the cult. So pray for me that I don't get baptized in laser eyes or in their religion, however that religion works. But and Casey's going to go there as well, so she's going to be there. Pray for her. And some good vibes, and be sure to follow on X, share these videos, get them out there, share the talks, get them out there, and let's do it again. I will. I'll definitely be posting all about this meeting, this event. It's going to be big. And check out that show that Craig did with Connor, and Jorge had posted that on his page, and I just shared it. Really fascinating. So. And Bose too, man.
If you start growing, I'm sorry, if you start growing a beard or a goatee or something after you come back from Vegas, man, I'm done. I'm unsubscribing, bro.
If I put the laser eyes on my profile with a goatee and a beard, you'll know that something happened to me. Okay, so pray for me. Okay.
Good luck, man.
All right, y'all. See you at the top. Thank you, guys.